John Wanoa here in Auckland, New Zealand. Just catch up after Christmas and Boxing Day with where we are heading into the new year. Just a message for all my supporters who have kept with us all the way here in the hapu, and the following on Facebook, Twitter and Google and YouTube. We've come a long way since the battle with the Crown, corporate companies, which are starting to change with the event of the Pope and his new laws. I want to express to you that the UCC Law, Canon Law, Curia Law, Civil Law and Admiralty Law is fast disappearing. And for those who are still practicing it, you'll be left high and dry on the shoreline with your law. I have been following right through from the Lisbon Treaty in 2008. That's when I started on Facebook advertising our plans. It's taken this long to develop lands here in New Zealand and around the world, who will be in with the people of the world, the King's people. Common law prevails over the Vatican laws that are practiced in the courts today. Now just revert back to Cook Street, 77 Cook Street property and its land transfer that has got caught up in the mortgage, liens and fiat money that has turned landowners into trusts. In capital letters, your name, we're challenging in corporate trust, Crown administered businesses here in New Zealand and around the world, in the Commonwealth, that bears the name of Queen Elizabeth II and her agents, with us being principal to the agent. We are sending a clear message from the King's people and the King's Bench Court that we are now putting together the upper house of Parliament here in Te Marae in Waitangi, Bay of Islands, New Zealand. Now that becomes a authority of this Admiralty flag worldwide. Immediately the taumata or chiefs, elders, who are the real sovereigns of the land. I was here and you came to live with us, is what they're saying. They did not cede their sovereignty. It was the Crown and the colonial governments that came here with their law. Now, to refresh your memory, Pope Francis destroyed all corporations and trusts, including the court trusts. The name Auckland District Court is a trust. The judge is the trustee. The registrar is the sheriff. And the real natural person who has altered the title of your birth certificate into capital letters so that her bench, run by the judge trustee, and the police prosecutor, who is neither lawyer nor barrister, act acting against me, the last person you want to get mixed up with, as the injured person. They put in capital letters so that it understands their language of law, of alien, on a ship 200 miles out to sea. And so the Pope says in his statement to the world that the Admiralty Court Martial Law of mortgages and liens and bank loans is extinguished forevermore, slid back into the sea and set sail back where it came from. So I'm saying plainly that I'm writing this affidavit to the Judge Collins, Judge Grant Frazer, and the police prosecutor who arrested me, Natalie Flowerdew-Brown, acting as a natural person with lowercase letters, and put my name in capital letters 4 times. 4 John Wanoas. This is how it has been for many years, how they extracted money from your bank account by acting as you, the beneficiary of your estate. Bank account, in my instance, the ANZ Bank in Queen Street, Auckland, has been used for them to go into and alter the record illegally. Now, by me going to prison, coming out and representing myself in court, I says to the Judge Grant Frazer, you have no queen. Above your head is a picture. It has no jurisdiction, no constitution, and no authority to rule over me and my natural name. You see, Detective Flowerdew-Brown, Natalie, came into my house here, this one, and arrested me as a natural person in lower case, and not what she had on her documents, which I found to be fraudulent and forged, altered my name and put it in capitals. She also put the tenants on 77 Cook Street, or 90 Wellesley Street, or 1/61 Cook Street, or 61 Cook Street, land in the offices there of Tournament Holdings Limited, but their names and their statements, altered them, illegally altered them, tampered with my statements, tampered with my name, and put them into capitals as well as a corporate business of her own companies, so that she can extract money from my bank account. Now that's what's happening. That's what I have issues with, my barrister, that she never or did not disclose fully her intentions to defraud me this way, with forged documents in her own handwriting or typing, from statements made by the office staff and administrators of Tournament Holdings Limited and Cityworks Depot Limited, and put their statements into legalese form to suit the judge, the police, and the government. So now, she, as a detective, liable the whole police force, 15,000 of them. I have already billed them, debted them, £1 trillion each. I want to make this statement quite clear under this flag that this is a higher authority of Admiralty Law, Court Martial Law, as from 1830 to 1837, still current in Westminster Parliament. Statute law extant forevermore. We have the right of legal authority to build their charge. Every single person who tampered with our information to the High Court of Admiralty in London, where this court case on 61 Cook Street is going to, or is already in, which has gone to Judge David Lindsay Mackey for the record. It is videoed with her, with his secretary. Now, I am putting an affidavit that is similar to a police versus Dilip Rupa, here a businessman in West Haven. Now, he has not got the disclosure of information he needed for his case, and I am not going to have a repeat of what the police is hiding or fabricating or covering. The fraud of the landowners, James Pierce Brown and Simon Brent Roundtree, on that property, land, and their conveyance lawyers, whether they be MacDonald and Andrews lawyers, who did administer and transfer the land illegally from Jamie Peters in 2012 to Douglas Rickard Bell. Property developers, both property developers, when Jamie Peters went bankrupt. That's when I took his case on in 2008. From there right till now, that property has been a bad title. It didn't matter how many transfers it got. They were all linked in joinder to the original land sale and purchase or foreclosure. So now this flag is the only trading bank of commerce, world international commerce flag, king of commerce flag in the world, to now use the Admiralty law that is absent now from every other law. We use the Admiralty Court Martial Law of King William IV to foreclose on that property and any other property in the Commonwealth that's subject now to King William IV default contracts against the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, who abandoned ship of Admiralty and went into the EU Parliament and distanced herself and her business, private business, which is now liable. 66 million acres, and this property is just one of them that is now foreclosed on in writing of this affidavit through the barrister. And I want to make it quite clear to the police here, the New Zealand government, the Prime Minister John Key, the Governor General Jerry Mataprai, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Sean Elias, that you are now liable by the words and statements of Pope Francis, saying he destroyed all corporations and trusts in the world, including the court, the Auckland District Court corporate company and its trustee, the judge himself. That's what I want to make quite clear, that I'm running the King's Bench Court as a native judge and jury, all in one, on this video. To you, that I now proclaim that Ngāpui and the hapu of Aotearoa, Nguti Irene, never ceded sovereignty to the colonial government or of New South Wales that's running in Wellington under John Key National Government, and never ceded sovereignty to the British, because this flag is sovereignty and no one can change it but us, the chiefs and the organic landowners. Kaitiaki, call it what you like. We are the original natives, surnames, under this flag, straight to Britain as sovereign to sovereign. King William IV Memorial, 1835 Declaration of Independence flag, the only flag in the world that is given by a king. And this is a statement to you that the memorial of King William IV is our jurisdiction and authority under this flag anywhere in the world, as defaulted contract on any alien or any threat or any fraud that has created documents under this flag of a king used by the Queen's agents against me, the principal, and my chiefs, the principals, versus the agents. You people who are administering John Key's government and yourselves are now liable under the Pope's new laws. The New World Order is this 8-point star of St. Patrick's Order of the Church of Ireland. And that's my family, Cosgrove's authority, direct to that side of King William IV and his monarch, sovereign, family connections. Now, the other memorial is the Moai statue that the Queen Victoria confiscated off my ancestors' lands in Rapa Nui, East Island, to Mokonui, here on my land block at East Cape, Marangaro land blocks, and my hapu, Potiki Rua ki Waipu boundary area of Uetaha, WANOA, to from Mokonui, Urupa, ancestral inheritance, land owners, to Mokonui, to Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and my ancestors, WANOA people, there to Raiate Island in Tahiti. Okay, so that's the other memorial that Queen Victoria picked up and shipped on a topaz, Her Majesty's ship, His Majesty's ship, to London. And it's standing in London, New York, Washington DC, Brussels, France, New Zealand, Auckland and South Island, and Chile as real and Singapore is a duplicate of it in Singapore, and Wellington, New Zealand is a copy. But the real ones are the other ones I mentioned from East Island itself. The organic title is standing in London. Is my title. Memorial with King William and the flag. And that's all you needed for jurisdiction of Admiralty that got you all on the lands through shipping and transferring gold and every other law of the Admiralty mortgage liens on the land instruments. So that's my story to you, John Key, that we will be facing you at Te Tii Marae on the 6th of February with all this intact, with our chief there, Kingi Taurua, and Hohepa Epiha, who is consolidating all the taumata in Ngāpui and also around the country. With me, the secretary for him, and that Te Tii Marae taumata, upper house of authority, sovereign, to open its authority, call it what you like, Parliament, Governing Council, Native Council of Chiefs, to start business. That's what I'm doing as my job as the surrogate King William IV. Mandate from my chiefs, who are my responsibility to administer the connection between the chiefs here in Aotearoa, New Tirimi, to Britain, Westminster, and King William IV, and his direct bloodline and descendants to King Ernest Augustus, or Ernst Augustus, the 5th King of Britain, UK, still current, with this flag of his ancestor, King Ernest Augustus I, the same time as King William IV, his brother, and his other brother, King George IV, and their father, the three brothers' father, King George III, founder of America Commerce under the Admiralty Court Martial Law. Okay, so that's giving you a great picture of what authority I am wielding here in front of you watching this video. So, one more thing, just to make it certain, on the financial side of this flag of commerce, the King of Commerce is the only king in the world that put the Bank of England Act together, 1834, and the Pound Note and Gold Coin Acts, 1834, together, and took it around the world with this flag. In the period of time of his acts that we administer in the upper house of Parliament at Te Tii Marae in Waitangi, Bear Violence, New Zealand. Those acts are still intact, unaltered, forevermore. We are partners in business with the British military, UK, four-nation state there, plus Hanover, plus Maui Pacific Islands, plus the New World Order world under this flag of Admiralty. Still, our court martial laws apply to the world. Free passage through the world in trade, finance, banking, and business, as it was, as it still is today in 2015. And on the 4th of February 2016, Waitangi Celebration Day here in New Zealand, the Upper House will open for business, continuing from 1835 with this flag. England, land laws of England, as current in 2015, applies. Okay, we are applying our law as being original 1835 Constitution to a new Constitution of our own today. Through the taumata, how they interpret it with our rangatira is where we go, with our native councils and the modern way of looking at this country, at least. The Commonwealth comes under this flag of King Ernest Augustus V and his son Ernest Augustus, Prince Regent, right back to 14 AD. Augustus to King Solomon and his mines. Gold trailed all the way to William the Conqueror and linked in a direct straight line to King William IV. On through me to convey or nominate from this side of the commerce and title to his contract private business with us, the Hapu natives of New Zealand, or New Tirini, Aotea, New Tirini, with King William IV, all his commerce, and not so much his lineage or monarch or sovereignty, but only the commercial, financial, banking instruments of wealth and creation of prized possessions, land, and every other property, real or otherwise, collected through the King's Bench Court, silent partner, no more, into the Queen's Bench Court, subject to audit the books with the British military and other militaries around the world under this flag. Free passage flag through the world, where the business went, the Queen took it and corrupted every other country with war and spending that money of our trust. The Queen Victoria Trust is now liable to the Maui Crown King William IV Trust that I am administering on the behalf of the Hapu natives in this country, in the first instance, still valid, legal, lawful, and current. Auditing the HM Treasury books in New Zealand, Intuition New Zealand Limited's books, the Treasury's books, the HM Treasury books in London, that the Queen has corrupted and fraudulently extracted money through the Rothschild banks, the Pope and the Vatican City Company, private, liable, the City of London private company of Rothschilds, the Bank of England company of Rothschilds, Washington DC, the company of Queen Elizabeth II, Buckingham Palace, the business of Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Elizabeth II private business, mortgaged by the Pope and the Vatican City Company, the Church of England Company, the Vatican Catholic Church Company, private, and the World Bank Company, private, are liable to 970 million trillion pound note. You'll see on my website, my Facebook sites, one of 66 websites, YouTube, Twitter and Google. So now, this is a statement to the world and Commonwealth that this is a Commonwealth flag of jurisdiction of a king of England, a king of commerce, a king of the sea, and a king of mortgages, the creator of mortgages, the creator of the acts of a parliament in Westminster that is our partner in business. Liable. Westminster Parliament is liable. All the politicians who have corrupted our law, King William's law, found to be using that law and our flag authority, is liable because of the contract inside this flag with us and me, its administrator for our hapu, taumata, te ti marae, waitangi. Now, all those other hapus that are on the iwi side can remain there as debtors. It is not my view to shut down the Parliament in Wellington, with John Key as its Prime Minister, levy debtor of these bills. It is my view and my policy to keep them there as debtors with every other parliament run by the Vatican. The Vatican has wiped its hands clean of all those capital letters and fictitious, fabricated company names as persons, as real persons that are walking around as natural persons in a common law court and operating their business in a commercial court, as in my case with this 77 Cook Street fraud land transfer title. They're acting in one court and then jumping in the other court in front of me. And to you, Detective Natalie Flowerdew-Brown, I now have your photo to go on to your documents, put you in the box. I'm putting you in the box as a levy debtor. You libelled the whole 15,000 police in this country, or 13,000 police to be precise. But I'm saying between 13 and 15,000 police, you have libelled each of them £1 trillion note each. That's the one you see with my head on it. My head has authority to be on that note as still current. I used to print it against you for causing the injuries to me my natural person name in lower case, you corrupted my name and put it into capitals. You came into my house here in Otahuhu and brought your papers. You signed, not a lawyer, not a notary public, JP, Justice of Peace, not even a barrister, or the Solicitor General. You did it yourself. I'm telling the whole world on this video to back up behind this affidavit, 15-page, that I'll send to you, personally, liable, you, to refute. It will go to my barrister, Shannon Withers, to also give to you to refute. He will also send it to the judge, and I will send it to the judge also to refute or to rule on in my favour if you fail to refute what I'm saying in it. In my words, my statement, my own statement, and signed like you signed yours and gave it to someone else in the court to do. You see, I'm getting the barrister to subpoena you, Natalie Flowerdew-Brown, into the court if needed. But it's going to take one affidavit only before the court date on the 27th that you will not turn up, because that's the fashion of police hiding behind the fraud. I am exposing you and the rest of the police force here, and the government, and the courts, and the judges, and the lawyers for conspiracy to defraud the public of New Zealand, myself and my chiefs, my hapu, and all my business connections that you have injured. My ship as well injured me, my person, in my lower case natural name. You have injured my personality, my profession, my repute, and my character in front of everyone. You humiliated me in front of the police, the courts, and generally the public on my Facebook sites. Now, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. You have to pay in court if you're subpoenaed. If you don't refute this affidavit or these affidavits, then I'm expecting the judge to rule in my favour to have you imprisoned for fraud and corruption of the law, the New Zealand law under the Crimes Act 1961 and all its acts right through. You broke at least some of them in front of me, a native chief, assessor of these lands you're standing on, that you got here on this flag. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm making this quite clear in this statement to the world watching me perform my duty of care to the law of New Zealand. New Zealand law. I'm following the New Zealand law and not breaking it. You're breaking it. Those people on that land block broke it. You supported them. That's why I made that video with us going there with the marshals legally to seize that land, because they had enough notice. They failed to refute. Now we're going to go through the barrister to make them own up. The landowners, for a start, Simon Brent Roundtree and James Pierce Brown, and their lawyers, Mark Warnabrook and Andrew MacDonald, if they're their lawyers, or if not the conveyancing lawyers and any other conveyancing lawyers who acted for you illegally, unlawfully, illegitimately to break New Zealand law. Okay? So the judge, you're watching this video, Judge Collins, Judge Frazer, and the other judge, I never got your name, that did our case, the last one, court hearing, and you must take into account what I'm saying in this video to you. This is directed to you, that I'm wanting from you, I demand from you, through my barrister, a writ order allowing me to seize my land back to me and my chiefs, possession, repossession of our land, and any other debt that they owe is my business, under my own hapu, to recover with our debt collection services, who we contract to. Okay? I'll make myself clear. Do you understand me? Once? Do you understand what I just said? I require a writ to seize my property back in order to go onto that property and remove all of those people. That's what I want you to do. Just making a video, won't be long. Ring in 10 minutes time. Desmond? Okay. That's my assistant, deputy, overseer, Desmond Wanoa. Calling from Gisborne. Just catching up with him on the issues of this court hearing. He'll be here to assist me. And on the maraes, he takes care of the cultural side and the speeches in Māori. The presentation to the taumata on Te Tii Marae. Desmond is picking up behind me to keep the hapu, taumata at East Cape, Tamati Vid, and our other landowners, Mano Raro and Ravtaka. We have those three at this present stage, where my authority comes from them, on our marae there, to Te Tii Marae taumata. They'll be coming and holding all my documents for our projects and for our rules, our laws, and our Commonwealth government of the world. Straight to Britain, the UK, Westminster Parliament, from King William IV's property on his land, William Yard, in Devon, the Port of England, in Plymouth County. Now, I'm going there as a judge in the King's Bench Court, set up on his land, estate, under King Ernest Augustus V and his son Ernest Augustus, Prince Regent. Okay, so that's the plan we have from Te Tii Marae taumata, that I go to England and put the flag up at next to his memorial, King William IV Memorial Stone, in William Yard, and proclaim his authority of jurisdiction as the court martial law of the Commonwealth under King Ernest Augustus the Fifth. Okay? Now that's what I want to make this proclamation today on this video, in readiness for the 6th of February 2016, Waitangi Day, the end of the 1840 Treaty and the continuation of the 1835 Declaration of Independence, flag sovereign monarchy. Default back to King William IV. Constitution 1835 and the land laws of England apply to these lands as it was then, modified to suit our hapu here and our original status of the New World Order under King William IV back to 1830 to 1837 applies. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to say in this video. I know it's quite long, but I wanted to make sure that it is a statement, it is a proclamation, and it is a legal authority from the 4th of February 2016, the 5th on the Rangatira Day of the Hapu, and the final day of the 6th of February 2016, this flag rules the world under this king. As far as I'm concerned, as King William's partner in business, from then 1830 to 1837 still applies in 2015 onwards. We have not severed. Our contract with him continues in a long straight line from 1480 Ernest Augustus or Augustus to King Solomon and his mines, gold trail right through William the Conqueror, right through King William the Fourth to Ernest Augustus, the 5th Prince Regent, Ernest Augustus. At 33 years of age, up and coming, true monarch, straight line king of England, of Ireland, Scotland and Wales, Hanover, Maui Pacific Islands and the world. That is the true New World Order with 8-point star that this Governor General, Jerry Mataparai, is wearing false. His false bloodline. He's a St. Andrew's Church. This is a St. Patrick Church, which is my bloodline. Cosgrove family and the Rogan judges, the Cosgrove lawyers in this country, that I speak from here and Britain, UK, to my team there, Sue Young and Natalie. We have John Patterson from his original William Patterson Bank of England creation in 1694, the Patterson Bank of England and its pound note. Okay? And also Gordon Bowden, ex-military Air Force, on our side in the courts in Plymouth, Devon, shall run them up. All the fraudsters, the corrupted Queen of England, before she skipped the country with her authority and took it into Brussels. So Brussels is liable. Brussels and the Queen is liable. Now to this flag. In our Maui crown, King William Trust. That's the real crown on his head. That's the real crown. The Queen's crown is ever so shaky, and she's panicking about Diana's death and about a lot of things. She's confessing in her dying days. So the truth prevails in King William and Maui memorials stand forevermore in continuity of sovereignty right back to 1835 and 1830 to 1837 Acts of Westminster Parliament applies to Devon, the new court, or the original courts there, the Queen's Bench Courts reverts to the King's Bench Court. I'm going to step into the court there in Devon and Plymouth and take up that position as a judge for King William IV to audit the books and to investigate all of the commerce that has been King William's wealth all the way through, and find where all that money went to. The gold, the 1.5 million tonnes of gold, according to Karen Hudes, belongs to our trust, not to anybody else or the trustees. It belongs to the beneficiaries, which happens to be us. Now we're just telling you this to the world, that we are going there to claim our title to King William's fortunes and give it to the common people around the world, where the Queen and her agents acting for us, the principal, took that business under this flag. This is the only flag you can go around the world and trade business and ship business directly without any investigation. This is private. No one can inquire into HM Treasury, and this private way of getting around the world with the gold is the bottom of the ship, and the money and every other property that they've shipped through merchant and chancery laws created by Admiralty. Okay, so that's all I want to say, really, before the hour's up. And I wish everybody a happy new year from me and my team, and especially Desmond Wanoa, my right-hand man, who has helped me all the way through these years, from Dunedin, where he came from, and the Maui in the South Island. He'll be going back to the South Island, take his place there with his family in Dunedin, where the Maui is, the real one, that came from East Island in 1953, after the Queen Elizabeth took over in 1952 as the Queen of England. That memorial was put there for that reason, for her to assume our mana. That's what it is. The Maui is the God's earth mana. That's his spirit that we inherit. That's why it was made with that face on that island with so many Maui, for a special reason that was for me and my family, the WANOA people. W-A Noa. Wa, the beginning and end of time and space, and Noa, N-O-A, is the law, God's law, God's paradise, and God's authority. On a marae, a native marae, on East Island, got no roof, it's just some stones on the ground, that's the Nor. That is the Nor where the law sits with the chiefs. Okay? With the natives, Taumata sits on the rocks, flat on the ground, straight up to God in His created heaven. Okay? No roof, just straight up. The Moai goes straight up. What the white man did, and the Queen, is put him in a museum and put a roof over his head. Well, he was not supposed to be put in a museum. That's a white man's culture. It's to capture everything, like Israel and Turkey and Britain and Israel, go and steal everybody's memorials, and including ours, the Moai, and stick him in under a roof to make money out of. So, Moai's got to remain or go home. I'm going there because we're there already. That's proof that we are already in England, there with authority of God's law, L-O-R-E, and Noah, the law of truth, sovereign truth of the common people of a king. Okay, so that's why I'm speaking like a king. Although I'm not a king of England, I'm there to make sure the right king goes in, not Prince William. He is not the bloodline of King William. You put the name there to try and steal our flag of authority, Admiralty, and every wealth that's been made from it, and put it in his Spanish name. Juan Carlos is his father. Now, that's got nothing to do with Germany and Sweden and Denmark. The Vikings, where this flag of authority is linked to Moai, God's law, and His Spirit. Wairua is what we call it, is the title to who we are, and he has no inheritance to any of that. Neither has Charlie, and neither has the Queen, who's not even got a coronation. It was only King William and Queen Victoria that got coronations. The coronation that Queen Elizabeth got is fake. Everything she's got, including the crown on her head, is fake. So all the people who have got what they got through the Queen is fake, including America she owns, is fake. That's why it's blowing up and shooting itself up, and created ISIS, and all the bad things is on the Queen's side of the 1840 Treaty of Waitangi in this country. It's just fake. That's the Maori iwi side, afraid to say. Sorry say that, but it's true. The truth hurts when I talk like this, but it comes out that way, and if you can stomach it, then you'll have an answer, or refute it. I can't see anybody refuting anything yet, and I'm yet to see the police woman, Natalie Flowerdew-Brown, and her colleague Aaron Pascoe, and the other one, Tim Duthie, the three detectives who injured me to keep me off Cook Street property, land that belongs to me, with all these things I'm saying. And what have they got? They just come and go, disappear like a puff of wind, the same as the fiat money. It fizzled. It wasn't made to last. The US dollar with the pyramid and the eye on it, it fizzles. It was not real. It was imaginary illusions of a madman, Obama. You see, I can name them. I can name them from here. But if I was in America, I'd get arrested for humiliating Hillary Clinton and Obama and everyone there, because they can't get out of telling the truth. They cannot tell the truth because they've been brought up by their ancestors like that. Now, to get back to normality is to go back to the king and ditch the queen. That's what they're doing now, ditching the queen. She was of no use to anybody but her business and the police and all their corporations. The elite people will have to start paying now. You're going to get a bill. Don't be surprised if one of the Maui people turn up on your doorstep, a marshal and a sheriff, to ask you questions, the same way as I'm asking the judge questions. His jurisdiction, for a start, is on the line. That's the first thing in this affidavit I got. What jurisdiction are you using today on me? Sir? What authority are you using today on me, sir? And whose sovereignty are you using today on me, sir? And what documents have been authenticated by someone in authority of profession to say that it's true? Because the way I'm looking at it, all your documents in the courts and the police are fake. The same as what I'm saying about the Queen. Thank you. I will see you later because now I have my man on. Bye for now. Take care.